What if your future isn't ahead of you, but watching you right now? Every choice, every thought, every heartbeat, already echoing through infinite versions of you. Life doesn't unfold in a straight line. That's just how your brain translates infinity into something it can survive. In truth, time isn't a road you walk down. It's a sphere you're standing inside. The past, the present, and the future are not lined up like pearls on a thread. They shimmer together, layered like invisible frequencies waiting for you to tune in. The you that exists tomorrow isn't chosen by destiny. It's sculpted by the signal you're resonating with right now. Quantum physics, in its most astonishing revelations, whispers that the future isn't something that happens later. It's a symphony of probabilities vibrating in this very instant, the quantum field of potential. You aren't moving through time. You're folding it, frame by frame, with your awareness. And here's what almost no one understands. The field doesn't respond to minutes or calendars. It responds to coherence, to attention, to the quality of your being. This isn't metaphor, it's mechanics. In the double-slit experiment, matter behaved like mist until someone looked. Observation didn't just record reality, it decided it. Particles collapse from infinite possibilities into one visible path. That's the observer effect. But it's not just a physics anomaly, it's the secret behind your reality. If even atoms wait to be witnessed before becoming real, what makes you think your life is any different? You're not just watching the universe, you're shaping it. But the real question is, with what kind of eyes are you observing? Most believe observation starts with vision. It doesn't. It begins with emotion, with belief, with vibration. You don't look neutrally, you radiate meaning into what you see. That's why two people can live in the same world and still walk in different realities. They're not luckier or smarter. They're just tuned to different frequencies. Your beliefs focus the lens. Your emotions set the frequency. Your nervous system broadcasts the signal. Yet most never realize they're the transmitter. They wait for the future to arrive, not knowing it's already knocking. Like someone standing before an open door, too busy searching for the handle. In quantum field theory, every possibility already exists. Your future self isn't a single silhouette. It's a spectrum of versions, one radiant and free, one abundant and grounded, one still lost in old fears. Each is real within the field, but only one becomes tangible, the one your energy keeps returning to. You think you're walking toward your future, but really you're dialing into it. To become your future self, you must stop chasing them. You must begin being them, emotionally, energetically, neurologically. Time isn't in front of you. It's beside you, whispering, waiting for coherence. Pause. This may dissolve everything you thought you knew about growth and destiny. We were taught that time is a river carrying us forward, but time is more like an ocean, endless, fluid, containing every version of you as distant islands of possibility. You don't move through time, you sail consciousness. And navigation begins not with effort, but with resonance. The field doesn't hear your struggle, it hears your signal. You can visualize endlessly, work tirelessly, affirm daily. But if your inner frequency hums with lack or fear, the reality that answers will sound the same. You never receive the future you want. You receive the one that matches your vibration. So ask yourself, which self are you tuning to right now? The one that survives or the one that thrives? The one that doubts or the one that leads? The field is neutral. It doesn't mirror your wishes, it mirrors your state and the secret doorway to shifting realities. It isn't found in thought or time. It begins in your body's quiet language, the rhythm of your breath, the coherence of your heart, the still electricity of belief aligning with truth. The future isn't hiding from you. You've just been looking from the wrong angle, anchored to the same timeline through repeated emotion and identity. But everything changes when you stop observing from fear and start embodying the version of you that already remembers how it feels to be free. Because maybe your future self isn't waiting. Maybe it's watching through your eyes right now. Sometimes you feel it, a quiet pull, a sense that something unseen is guiding you, as if a wiser version of you, hidden just beyond the veil, is whispering through dreams, déjà vu, or that sudden surge of knowing you can't explain. You may call it intuition, you may call it your higher self. But what if it's not imagination at all? What if science is finally beginning to map what the ancients already lived? For centuries, mystics have said your future self isn't a fantasy. It's a frequency, already alive within the field. And now quantum physics offers the language to describe it: entanglement. At its heart, entanglement means that when two particles connect, they never truly separate. Touch one, and the other trembles in response, even if light years apart. Einstein called it spooky action at a distance, but there's nothing spooky about it. It's the architecture of reality itself. You and your future self are entangled in the same way. You are not two beings traveling through time. You are one consciousness expressing through multiple moments. Your future identity leaves a subtle electromagnetic imprint in the quantum field, pulsing like a beacon. And those strange inner nudges, the dreams, the coincidences, the instinct to turn left instead of right, are not random. They are echoes of that connection, signals traveling backward through the fabric of possibility. But there's a catch. You can only decode those signals when your energy is still enough to listen. When you are tangled in fear, stress, or survival, your system vibrates in static. It's like trying to catch a distant melody while standing beside thunder. The guidance never stops broadcasting. You've just been too loud to hear it. Even so, your future self keeps reaching. Every whisper you dismissed, every chance you almost took, every moment of déjà vu, these are messages from the part of you that already knows the path. They've seen where the shortcuts are. They remember how you made it through. And here's the paradox. While you're reaching toward them, they're reaching toward you. Entanglement is not bound by time. At the quantum level, cause and effect can reverse. A decision you make tomorrow can ripple backward and rearrange the present. This phenomenon, retrocausality, reveals that time doesn't move like an arrow. It folds like fabric. Your future choices can guide your current perception, especially when made with clarity and emotional precision. This is where it becomes uncomfortable, because it requires radical ownership. Your future self is already shaping you, but only to the degree that you allow it. Pause for a breath. You are not lost. You are not guessing. Every day, moment by moment, you are receiving vibrational guidance from a version of you who already remembers how it ends. The real question is, are you quiet enough to listen? Now let's bring this from the cosmic to the cellular. In neuroscience, there's a phenomenon called neural mirroring. Your brain can simulate another's experience simply by observing it. That's how you feel pain when someone is hurt, or joy when they succeed. But what if the most powerful mirror isn't another person? It's your future self. When you begin to embody the posture, breath, and thought patterns of who you wish to become, you are not pretending. You are synchronizing. You're creating a loop of energy between timelines, a living channel through which insight and transformation can pass. That's why visualization isn't about tricking the universe. It's about tuning your nervous system into coherence with what already exists. You sharpen the bridge between worlds. Most people try to force the future open, as if pushing against a locked door. But force comes from separation. Collaboration comes from connection. You don't manifest by commanding reality. You harmonize with it. This is not about becoming someone new. It's about remembering someone eternal. Because the field of infinite potentials isn't outside of you. It has always been entangled with you. And so it is with every version of who you could become. The one who has healed. The one who loves without fear. The one who leads with clarity. The one who finally breathes in freedom. When you start responding to life from their vibration instead of reacting from old pain, the invisible thread between timelines strengthens. The bond becomes conscious. You begin to sense it, an unseen hand guiding you, subtle but unmistakable. Your compass steadies. The path beneath your feet feels familiar, as though it's been waiting for you all along. And then the synchronicities bloom. A stranger speaks the words you needed to hear. A forgotten book falls open to the perfect page. An opportunity arrives exactly when you stop searching. These are not accidents. They are confirmations. They are your future self responding to your coherence. But what about the moments when you slip, when doubt floods in, when faith feels like fiction, when you can't hear the signal anymore? That's part of the dance too. The thread never breaks, it simply quiets. Your future self doesn't judge or retreat. They continue vibrating steadily, waiting for you to tune back in, waiting for you to remember the code. And what is that code? Presence, coherence, alignment. When these are not forced but felt, something extraordinary happens. The quantum mirror awakens, and reality itself begins to reflect a dialogue between who you are and who you are becoming. In that mirror, time becomes conversation. Every heartbeat is a reply. Every emotion, a signal shaping the next frame of your story. Because your destiny isn't something you chase. It's something you collapse into, one vibration at a time. We were told that life moves in straight lines, that matter is solid, that imagination is a toy of the mind. But no one explained why imagination so often becomes real. They never told you that your thoughts, silent, fleeting, untouchable, are the architects of form, not poetically, literally. You are not an observer of a fixed universe. You are the wave itself, and coherence is how you collapse it. Return now to the double-slit experiment. Particles scattered like ocean spray until someone looked. In that moment, the wave condensed into matter, a single outcome, born from observation. Now replace the particle with your own life. You are both the watcher and the wave. Each breath contains infinite possibilities, infinite futures, infinite timelines. And with every thought, every feeling, every silent choice, one of those waves becomes your lived experience. Not through logic, not through force, through coherence. Coherence, in physics, is the synchronized rhythm of waves. In the human body, it is harmony between brain and heart. In the quantum field, it is pure signal, steady, luminous, unmistakable. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions align, the field listens instantly and mirrors back a matching reality. This is why you can desire one thing yet live another, because the universe doesn't translate words, it translates frequency. You can speak abundance, meditate on freedom, visualize love. But if your body still hums with fear or self-doubt, the transmission distorts. The field doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what you are being. Here's where most people miss it. They wait for proof before coherence. They say, I'll feel peace once I'm safe. I'll feel love once it's returned. I'll feel powerful once I've succeeded. But the field doesn't wait for results to recognize your vibration. It arranges the external after your internal alignment. Frequency first, form second. The vibration precedes the manifestation. Reality doesn't respond to effort, it echoes resonance. So what happens when you choose coherence? Not as a technique, but as a lifestyle? You become magnetic to a new timeline. Because coherence isn't pretending to be calm. It isn't denial or bypassing pain. It's honesty when your thoughts, emotions, and actions all tell the same story. That's when the field recognizes you. That's when reality begins to bend. Imagine your consciousness as a lighthouse. When its glass is clouded by fear or old wounds, the light scatters and fades. But when the lens is clear, when your inner world aligns, the beam cuts through distance, drawing new realities toward you. That light doesn't just reveal your path, it creates it. This is what people call flow. When effort dissolves and life seems to move with you instead of against you. It's not luck, it's coherence. And coherence isn't random, it's cultivated through deliberate thought, gentle self-regulation, and unwavering presence. Through choosing, again and again, to act from the vibration of the self who has already arrived. This is where the mystical becomes mechanical. Just as one tuning fork causes another to sing, your coherence calls matching timelines into harmony. They vibrate closer until they merge with your experience. Because energetically, you were never separate from them. Even when you fall into fear or judgment, creation doesn't stop. It just shifts frequency. You are always collapsing something. The only question is, are you doing it by accident or by design? When heart and mind align, science can measure it. An electromagnetic signature, radiant, extending beyond the body, shaping matter itself. Each emotion sends a distinct signal into the field, and gratitude among them all sings the clearest note. Every emotion speaks its own frequency. Shame hums low and heavy. Presence vibrates in stillness. Panic fractures the wave. Each state collapses its own version of reality. Now imagine this. Every breath you spend in coherent gratitude, not for what you already have, but for what you are becoming, sends a precise electromagnetic signature into the field. You are not asking reality to change. You are instructing it. You are saying, "This is my frequency." And the field, obedient to resonance, adjusts without question. But coherence is delicate. In a world addicted to noise, distraction pulls you away from waveform potential into fragmented observation. Every scroll, every comparison, every anxious thought drags your signal into static. The challenge is not to withdraw from the world, but to move through it vibrationally immune. To stand calm inside chaos, centered within movement. That is the mark of a creator. Now, what if coherence wasn't a fleeting meditation, but your natural state? What if the nervous system itself could be trained to hold alignment as its baseline frequency? If coherence became your default, manifestation would no longer be occasional. It would be continuous. The wave would collapse faster. Reality would respond with precision. You would stop living reactively and begin living holographically, aware that every action ripples across timelines. This is where theory dissolves into practice. Transformation doesn't come from chasing effort. It comes from remembering familiarity. The future doesn't respond to struggle, it responds to recognition. Because the moment you remember your future, it begins to remember you. We were taught that becoming requires battle, that growth demands grind. But what if the opposite is true? What if transformation is not about construction, but remembrance? There is a version of you, radiant, unguarded, unburdened, who already exists in completion. They don't need to be created. They're waiting to be tuned in. The field doesn't need convincing, it needs coherence. And coherence doesn't arise from force, it arises from frequency. Here lies the simplest secret, so simple that the mind, addicted to effort, keeps overlooking it. Reality is a multiverse of stations. Each frequency broadcasts a different version of you. One hums in anxiety and repetition, another sings with purpose and flow, another rests in safety, wholeness, peace. They all exist now, simultaneously. The dial is your state of being. Here's the illusion. You believe you must build the higher version, earn that reality, work your way there. And so you chase, hustle, strive, never realizing the signal has been playing the whole time. Your body simply hasn't learned how to tune in. This is where the science meets the sacred. Your nervous system is a frequency detection device. It memorizes emotions, looping them into biochemical habits. Most people become addicted not to pain itself, but to the familiarity of survival. Even when life is peaceful, the body searches for chaos. It misses the known pattern of fear. Not because fear feels good, but because it feels safe. So to shift timelines, you must give your body a new memory, and that memory must come before the evidence. When you feel the emotion of your future before it arrives, you create what neuroscience calls a somatic marker. That marker tells your subconscious, this is real now. And the body, unable to tell imagination from experience, begins to adapt. Neural circuits rewire, hormones rebalance, breath deepens, your posture changes, your voice softens, your nervous system becomes the future you, before your outer world does. This isn't fantasy, it's measurable. It's quantum entrainment, the meeting point of mysticism and neurobiology. But the body will resist, not because it's broken, but because it's loyal. It clings to what it knows, even if that knowing hurts. So the path forward isn't to fight the resistance, it's to retrain familiarity. This is the frequency shortcut. You don't become your future self through force. You become them by making their vibration feel familiar. How? By shifting your energetic baseline. By teaching your body that peace, power, and purpose are not exceptional. They are normal. They are safe. They are home. This is the art of dissolving resistance before results appear. It's remembrance made physical. Try this. The timeline encoding ritual. Close your eyes. Breathe slowly, 3 times. See yourself in a moment from your chosen future. Fully alive, fully embodied, fully present. Observe every detail. How does your body move? What thoughts arise naturally? What emotion radiates from your heart? Now amplify that feeling. Let gratitude bloom as if this reality has already arrived, because in the quantum field it has. Hold that vibration for 90 seconds, long enough for your field to record a new pattern. Then open your eyes and act from that state, not when it's easy, but especially when it's not. Because coherence isn't what you visit, it's what you remember. Your brain rewires itself through action. Every step taken from the energy of your future, rather than the fear of your past, reshapes the code of who you believe you are. And this identity, this felt sense of self, is the true access point. Not vision boards, not words. Embodied identity is the real manifestation technique. Here's the magic. The more often you move from that frequency, the less resistance you feel. Your body begins to crave this new resonance. Your subconscious becomes fluent in possibility. Life starts responding, not because you forced it, but because the field recognizes you as someone remembering their future, not longing for it. This is quantum alignment. Time bends, reality begins to chase you. Pause for a moment and feel it. You don't need to struggle. You are already connected to the version of yourself who lives there. All that remains is tuning in, again and again. If change has felt close but never fully landing, it's likely because the frequency was present but not yet familiar. That changes today. Anchor it. Take a moment. Affirm it silently, type it or whisper it. I remember my future as if it already happened. Let this be the signal, to yourself, to the field, to the world, that your shift is active. Transformation is not about more effort, it's about alignment. Your future doesn't wait for you to work harder, it waits for you to feel it, to become it before it arrives. Here's the secret of feedback. Your future identity, once activated, begins to pull you in. Synchronicities, intuitive actions, magnetic alignment, they are all echoes of who you've decided to be. A stranger utters a phrase you just whispered in meditation. An opportunity appears perfectly timed. A song carries the exact emotion you've encoded in your heart. The field is alive, responsive, not random. This is the moment when quantum shift becomes tangible. Not a theory, but a conversation between your consciousness and reality. You've moved beyond chasing, beyond desire. You've entered the loop where creation mirrors embodiment. Most people don't notice this loop. They believe in a linear cause and effect. Act, then results follow. But in a quantum system, the lines blur. The future can influence the present. John Wheeler's delayed choice experiment shows us this. Particles behave as if they know they will be observed before the observation occurs. Retrocausality. The future decision reshapes the present outcome. It defies linear time, but aligns perfectly with a universe where consciousness comes first. What does this mean for you? The future self you choose to embody today begins reshaping your environment even before you act externally. Who you are being now determines the timeline you attract and the responses you receive from the field. Your frequency doesn't just broadcast, it instructs, mirrors, and organizes. This explains why patterns seem to repeat. Not because the universe is punishing you, but because your signal hasn't changed. The field reflects the identity you hold. Until that identity shifts, feedback stays the same. Here's the twist. Sustain your coherence long enough, and reality stops reacting. It begins organizing around you. You become not a passive reflector, but an active transmitter. Your environment begins to mirror your dominant vibration. People align with your clarity. Resources arrive effortlessly. Time flexes. Synchronicities multiply. This is not luck, it's physics. It's quantum feedback in motion. Consider the story. A man had been visualizing financial abundance for months, meditating, journaling, affirming, yet nothing shifted. One day, he stopped trying to manifest results and simply embodied trust as a way of being. Within 48 hours, an old client referred him to someone who urgently needed his service and paid in full upfront. He did not force it. He simply became the vibrational match for what was already waiting in the field. This is the loop. Act from the frequency of your future self, not toward it. The timeline accelerates, feedback sharpens, the mirror clarifies. But there's responsibility here. The field mirrors all vibrations, not selectively. Scarcity, confusion, fear, they all reflect back. This is not punishment, it is precision. Accepting this, you stop blaming external circumstances and begin refining your own signal. True quantum mastery begins here. The mirror responds not to declarations, but to embodiment. Embodiment is cultivated in micro-decisions. How you breathe when no one is watching. The thoughts you repeat when doubt appears. The identity you default to when old patterns tempt you back. Want a new reality? Hold a new signal long enough, consistently, and reality responds. And the most profound shift, when your internal state becomes independent of external conditions, when your vibration is maintained regardless, then the loop reverses. You no longer chase life. Life begins to respond to you. Chaos organizes itself in your favor. The field, once reactive, becomes your partner. This is coherence in motion. You become the cause, not the effect. This is not metaphor, it's measurable. Studies show that sustained heart coherence doesn't just shift your physiology, it alters the electromagnetic environment around you. Your presence ripples into the collective field. You are not creating only for yourself, you are broadcasting into the quantum web. And when enough people become mirrors, reality begins to shift. This is the quantum revolution, not through effort or information, but through frequency. One embodied future self at a time. Right now, the version of you who already lives your next chapter, healed, free, expansive, is real. They are watching. They are sending signals through intuition, subtle signs, whispers from within. Your task is to trust them, respond, and become coherent enough to hear clearly. Here is the truth most won't say. Your future self doesn't need you to figure everything out. They need you to feel what they feel now. When you do, they collapse toward you, graceful, precise, inevitable. The final step is not doing more, it's releasing. You've visualized, remembered, embodied the frequency of who you're becoming. Now collapse who you've been, not to erase the past, but to stop feeding it energy. Every time you revisit old habits, fears, identities, you reactivate them. The old self isn't holding on to you, you are holding on to it. With presence, without judgment, the collapse begins. Quantum mechanics tells us that collapse is selection. From infinite wave possibilities, one reality manifests through observation and coherence. Stop energizing a version of yourself and it dissolves, not with noise but in quiet. This is not fixing, it's choosing again. The choice is subtle, a breath held differently, a posture shifted, a boundary honored, a belief released. It's the moment you stop needing proof and become proof. Your future unfolds not like a sudden strike, but like a memory you finally stop resisting. It's familiar. It's who you were always meant to be. The death of striving, the birth of alignment. How do you sustain it? Not through suppression, but through presence. Meet your old self like a ghost, with gratitude. Thank it for protection, then release it.